Taurus. Taurus. Alright, it's for my Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising sign, North Node folks. Okay? We are doing Metu Neter readings as well as I Ching as well as Tarot. Right? The Metu Neter reading, though, is going to read the tree of life within you. Okay? Tree of life is a representation of the aspects of your spirit, right? The Metu Neter, as the ancient Egyptians called it, right? So this particular oracle is going to read those aspects. Where are you? What's the major issue among your inner tree? This is what the Metu Neter is going to tell you about, right? Hopefully the I Ching and the Tarot will speak around it and we can get more specific. All right, so here we go for my Taurus folk. Peace to the Taurians. All right, what does Tehuti have to speak to my Taurus folk? Look at that. Heru Hetep. There you are. There you are. In Taurus cycle, being a Taurus. In Taurus cycle, being a Taurus. Heru Hetep. Heru Hetep. Okay. If any of you guys seen my video that I did on exactly that subject, Heru Hetep, get an understanding of where the mind is going when under this Heru Hetep energy, right? Taurus are Venus creatures already, so you'd expect the Taurus to be here, but Heru Hetep, you're gonna be trying to have fun, right? You're gonna be trying to have sex, right? You're gonna be on your sensuous vibe, right? It's about have a vacation. It's about have a party right about now for you, this cycle. Pleasurable experiences, entertainment, things that are gonna make you externally happy, right? Remember that we said the downfall of that Heru Hetep piece is that everything is external, right? Right? There is no inner joy with that Heru. We're talking about things that you are looking at that give you entertainment, things that you are involving yourself in that are giving yourself entertainment, things that are coming outside of your person, other people you are finding joy in. But the problem is when you get wrapped up in this type of way of functioning, you have circumstances where other people aren't around. Now what you're going to do for joy? This is why it's important to cultivate self-worth. You have to be your own joy at times. There's times when the world is going to be harsh to you. The world's going to say, you deserve something nasty. Well, you have to say to the world, fuck you, Lord. Excuse me, not fuck you, Lord, but fuck you, world. Some people say it just like that. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to apply your own happiness, right? You're going to have to create your own happiness and apply it, right? If you can't do that, then, you wound up sad, right? You wound up not in the energy to be able to, correctly manifest or be a benefit to anybody. You get depressed, right? That opposite energy of Heru is the Seker energy. So, you're talking about a depressive death kind of state, right? So Heru Hetep, that's where you at, right? You are, you're being told to, look out for the good times, but, be mindful of trapping yourself. Anytime you see Heru Hetep, be mindful of trapping yourself with external embellishments, external superficiality, external joy, right? Because, when you cultivate the external for the sake of the internal, then you lose the internal, right? You cultivate one for the sake of the other, you lose some of the other, right? So we should really be cultivating inner joy, right? But, a lot of us not there yet. A lot of us haven't embarked on the path of spiritual development, so you don't know that. right? So for y'all, external joys, you like, hey, let's have it. But again, be mindful of trapping yourself. That's the counsel you would get if you were on a spiritual quest, right? Don't trap yourself. Let's go to the E King. Straight stress. Straight stress. Straight. Straight stress. Straight. Straight stress. Open. Straight stress. Open. Close stress. Interesting. Straight stress. Open. Close stress. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting cycle for you, Taurus. Taurus cycle. All right, you got the 14 into the 46. These are two of the most auspicious hexagrams in the King, right? 14 is talking about possession in great measure, right? Possession, something that you possess, either material or spiritual, right? Great possessions, right? This could be a relationship situation, Just to give you an example of how the oracle looks at great possession, the oracle will look at the oracle as great possession, right? If you have a device that is able to connect you to God, you have great possession. So, many times you're being clued into that. But this perhaps is looking like maybe a relationship situation, right? It's Heteru and it's 14. Possession in great measure. Okay, so at the first line, we're being cautioned to not have weird dealings, to be on the upright and not deal with people and things that ain't on the upright. Watch our motives, things like this. No contact with evil, no blame, realization of difficulties ahead. He remains without fault. The Tyro is beginning to make progress. He is a man of culture, learning now to seek greater understanding of life and the universe. He has resolved to not associate with evil, which is commendable. But he is only at just the beginning, and he will have to face and overcome many practical difficulties, temptations. If he has a true realization of the difficulties, he can remain without fault. Being a Tyro, his successes and failures will be determined by the firmness of his resolve. The firmness of his resolve. This is how you will not fall into the evil element offering itself, if you are firm. If you are not firm, then, there's no fight. You might as well just go do what you're trying to do. Right? He should recognize that in metaphysics, there is an action and a reaction, just as in physics. Right? So there's nothing that you're going to do that you won't get a reaction for. And don't think that you are immune to someone's negative reaction to your negative shit. Right? That must be said. You got people out here that think that they can do anything and not have any consequence. They are out of touch. All right, so we're talking about possession in great measure. We're talking about, that first line. The first line we're talking about, you know what's proper involvement and what's not. You know what you should be involved in and what you shouldn't be involved in, who you shouldn't be involved in, and who's bad for you, who's the problem, right? You know these things by now. And at this first line, or the 14, you're being told to act like you know, right? Don't involve yourself with the evil, right? Don't involve yourself with that which is pulling you down, that which is against your best interests. Keep it away from you, right? And don't be the person who, this week I'm cool, this week I cut you off, but by next week I'm halfway missing you, and here you come, and here I go, right? So, because, that's just someone waiting you out until you're, more pliable, right? Be conscious of that trap. right? The fourth line. At the fourth line, one is very discerning. All right, so you are being asked to be discriminating. Use your sense of discernment. Very discriminating, no error. This person has intuitive insight into nearly every situation. The fourth line is the topmost position for man. Here it is strong. The lowest line of the trigram lead, clarity. Right? And next to the ruler of the hexagram, line 5. Lines 4 and 5 are of such a nature that they work together favorably. Hence, this person knows his work well, yet is cautious and guards against mistakes. Such a person can and should be in a position of leadership, both in spiritual and material matters. Regrettably, as this line is in a weak place, these persons will have the tendency towards ideal solutions which are not practical in this material world, or a tendency to use their unusual capability for selfish purposes. Right, okay. On and on and on, right? Okay, basically, at this line, you're being told to be discriminating. You're being told to, to use your eye, right? That's an issue. Lots of times people don't have a good eye. They can't make good decisions based upon what they see. They believe the wrong things. They're not able to, discern, when someone else is being dishonest. These are people who need oracles. You definitely need, if you can't use your faculty of intuition very well, but you have to deal with people, and you don't want to get screwed, right? Then, you need to be throwing bones on people. Please comment on this person's intentions towards my person. Comment, how far should I be involving myself with this person? These are real questions that you got to ask anytime you're trying to link yourself with somebody else. Otherwise, you get in a situation, you could be in a situation where you have a relationship. You got your, your rocky points, but you got your good points. But ultimately, you got somebody that you want to stay with. Well, now you got somebody else looking at you, and the other person may have more than this person. Maybe they're, they on the external, they look like they're a good catch, right? They got a nice car, they got a nice, possessions, right? Apartments, whatever they got it, and it's theirs, right? So you're looking at this person as, wow, this person probably better than my person. Right? You got people that will jump ship, right? Jump over there, and then they realize they in bed with a narcissist, right? Or they in bed with just somebody who just, who don't love them, right? Or they're in bed with somebody who's got an illness. Or they're in bed with, on and on and on. There's a myriad of reasons and situations, right, that, are going to deter you from a relationship. But you need to know that before you're in it. This is why you do readings. This is why we do Metu Neter readings, right? And all the rest of them too, right? Okay, so be discerning. That's what we're being told at line 4. Be discerning, right? Use your faculty of discernment so that your possession in great measure is not in jeopardy, right? Could be about your money. Somebody might be trying to take your money and you too goofy to check it out, right? You're not being smart regarding these people. On and on and on. You got to see where that is. All right, this goes into the 46. So there's effort, right? This looks like someone is achieving or is seeking to achieve relationship, right? They're trying to have a successful relationship, perhaps get into a successful relationship, right? Okay, if that's the case, I say use your possession in great measure, right? Use that oracle, right? That's another line of that fourth line. Your ability to be discerning can be enhanced via that oracle, which is possession in great measure, right? Right? And the top line is also, basically just great success in whatever you do, we don't have to get into it, right? Let's go into the tarot. What are we being focused on for our Tarian folk in this May season? Oh, whoa, the way that fell. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so the moon fell all the way out and out front. Now, this is crazy the way this looks. I don't want to move my camera because I'm going to mess it up. But this fell the way this fell is very interesting. It fell, there's 4 cards together, and they fell, like, they all fell in a way that they kind of, they got caught in the thing on the chair. Interesting. Up front is the King of Swords. Okay, so there's someone in your life who is the King of Swords, right? The moon sits on top. What is the King of Swords? King of Swords, somebody who's sharp tongue, right? Sharp tongue. This could be someone who talks down on you. Right?
So, good thing that I pulled enough cards to get an actual reading. My tape had actually stopped as I was recording. So after I pulled the King of Swords, the tape ran out, right? The tape cut off on me, or my storage, or whatever the case, whatever else, it ran out. So the reading is going to consist of the Moon card as the first card, and then the King of Swords coming after that, right? So it's just briefly explaining. So that Moon card is about illusions, not being clear on things, having things weird in the head, based on a lack of clarity, right? So you get illusions with that card, right? Now with the King of Swords coming up right behind it, or kind of as the thing at the bottom of the deck, right? The King of Swords is going to be, again, like I said on the video there, someone who is a sharp-tongued person, right? Someone who's very intelligent, but, can be very swift with the word, can be harsh with the word, right? And following behind that Moon card, probably uses his words to confuse you, or her words to confound you in some way. This is what comes to me regarding that King of Swords following that Moon card. All right, so that's the reading for the cycle. I apologize again for not being able to get you the complete video, but yeah, man, this is a work in progress. So we working it, Taurus, you know what I'm saying? Have a little understanding. All right, so with that, I'm going to say peace and love, and we're going to see y'all next time.